So about a week ago, I was about to work on the subway when bam, all my creativity for the subway just completely vanished, and I couldn't really build anything to save my life. And usually when this happens, you go for a walk, you play a couple other games, and do other things for about a week. But I really wanted to play Minecraft, so I went, hey, I have this project that I had in mind for a couple of months. I might as well work on that a little bit. And I did that. But the next day, I got sick. And here's one thing you need to know about me when I get sick. I feel like I'm gonna absolutely fall apart. So I usually just take one nap at like 1 and then fall asleep the next day. And anything in between that, I'm usually playing a video game or I'm watching a show. So I just said, hey, I might as well work on that project I just started. Well, I was sick for about a week. This all started when my friends and I were looking for a place to build at, and we found this really cool frozen lake over here. While I wasn't too interested in the lake by itself, there was this massive mountain right next to it that I found really cool. So I built this massive bridge right here. And the original plan for this was there's going to be this crystal in the center that was going to act like it fell from the sky, crashing into this mountain and creating this massive crater. And while a cool idea and all, and even built in creative, I got really distracted with the subway system and never actually built it in survival. And now I'm not too interested in building it, and that's because I like my builds to connect with each other and really fit in with each other. And I didn't feel like a Korean subway really would fit with a massive crystal slamming into a mountain, creating a crater, unless it's a ranker manhwa, then it would really fit. But that's not what I'm going for. So I preferably wanted something in Korea that was on a mountain that looked pretty cool. And there happened to be this tower on a mountain in Korea that looked pretty cool. And that tower would be Namsan Tower. And that's what we're going to be working on today. And I'm not going to be able to finish all of this today because this place is absolutely massive. And we're just going to do the entrance today, which may not seem like a lot, but this place is so big that the entrance is a lot, as you'll see later on, and I'm not going to have a lack of things to build. Before we get started on this build, I have to tear down this massive bridge. And you might be like, this is really sentimental though. It's your first build in this world. And yes, while that's true, I still have no sentimental attachment to it, so it's getting destroyed. Alright, I was initially going to cut to when all of this is destroyed, but I just need to take a minute to complain about glass. It took me like 20 minutes to break all of these glass panes. It took me like 5 minutes to clear the roof mat of the quartz. How does that make sense? Glass is supposed to be so fragile, and yet it takes so long. Why? And the reason I just didn't blow it all up is because I have this part of my brain whenever I play Minecraft that is a massive hoarder. It goes, you'll definitely need a shulker box full of light blue stained glass panes. It'll definitely pay off in the long run. It won't. It would be faster if I just collected a bunch of sand, smelted it all, got some light blue dye, and dyed the glass. And that would be way faster. But I just can't. I can't stop. And it's gone. It only took 3 hours, a whole nother 8 shovel, and 8 shulker boxes full of blocks. But now it's all gone, and we can almost start the build. And the reason it's almost is because I messed up in creative. I'll show you what I mean. The main problem being is I did not measure any of this when I was building in creative. And that leads to some problems. Some bits are way too small and some bits are way too large. And that's mainly because I was sick at the time and couldn't really focus on measuring properly. And I could really only place blocks and just hope it looked nice. So that was not an enjoyable experience. But that helped me get through my sickness. Also, I made this way too far to the left. Like, I had to make a whole mountain if I wanted to build it where I have it right now. So we're moving this all back 50 blocks to like here because I have no experience terraforming, and that is a massive terraforming project that would take like 20 hours, and that does not seem fun. And usually this is the part of the video that someone would go, oh, to measure all of this properly, I'm going to look at blueprints and it'll say, like, this fence is like 30 feet wide in real life. So I'm just going to have to calculate how many feet is a block, and it'll say like 10 feet is a block, and that means this fence needs to be 3 blocks long. And I'm not going to do that because I doubt I would get the math correct first off, and that seems like a lot of work. And if my siblings have taught me anything from being the youngest, is that if you have a problem that you don't fully understand, just use vibes and just hope for it to go well. And hopefully it does. So that just means I'm just gonna go for it and hope for the best. What's the worst that can happen? I have to terraform for like 20 hours and it's still disproportionate? That definitely won't happen, right? So let's just start the build. Well, this is awkward. I completely lost my beacon. I don't know where it is. I do need it to terraform a little bit, but I just can't find it. It's not in any of the shulkers that I can easily access or know of, because I have a lot of shulkers that I just leave around and don't worry about it. It's a bad habit of mine and my poorly organized chest system, and definitely do not have a problem. And it's not my ender chest I usually keep it in, and I don't know where it is, so I guess gotta kill some wither skeletons for like the next 40 minutes. First one. Hey, second one! Whoa! Hopefully, that trend continues. Hey, another one. That was pretty fast. Three? That quick? I'm getting out of here. My luck is gonna run dry for the next... The fourth? Well, why can't I get this lucky in my Genshin pulls? There we go. Not the distractions. Let's start the actual build. And there we go. Everything is now mapped out, and I didn't really do any of the detailing in the time-lapse because I still don't know where I want everything to go just yet. So I thought I would go over each floor individually and slowly work our way up to the top. So we will be starting on the second floor instead of the first floor, because the first floor doesn't have too many details. It'd be like, there's going to be this one support column right here. It's going to go all the way up to the ceiling, and it's going to be made out of tough walls. And that's about it. So we're starting on the second floor, which has so many more details. And I will be able to show you more of my thought process when it comes to recreating things in Minecraft. Like whenever I see these wooden support column things right here, I immediately think of vertical slabs. But we don't have vertical slabs. We have shelf blocks though. So I'll probably make these out of shelf blocks. We also have the support column here. And I preferably would want to make it out of concrete walls, but we don't have concrete walls in Minecraft. So we're probably going to make this out of pale oak because I don't like the use of diorite right here because diorite's a very texture block. This is a very smooth pillar, so I don't think it would fit. We also have the staircase right behind everything, tying everything together. So once everything's built in my survival world, it should look very nice. And we also have this bridge over here. And I won't be able to do this right away because there's a massive mountain in the way in my survival world. And I'll do that when I have finished every single floor, so we're gonna stop right about here. So I went ahead and finished the entire second floor, and I think it really looks nice. Obviously, you can't make a one-to-one replica and make everything look the same, but I think I made it pretty close, and I didn't realize how much the shelf blocks would help with this angle right here, but it really helps this angle look really nice. And I think it turned out great. So we can head up to the third floor and start working on that. And here's the third floor, which I won't be able to replicate fully, obviously, because I can't make these animal statues. But I want to try to make something with the same vibe and tone, and maybe I can get that with like the copper golems. I feel like that would work. I don't know how that would turn out, but if I didn't make it at all, it would look very barren and empty and sad, and we don't want that, so we're gonna try our best. And we also have this part right here that I have not talked about and avoided talking about because there's a massive mountain in the way of where this would go, and um, I don't really have 20 hours to terraform and just mine dirt and stone, so that's a later me problem and a nightmare for later me. And we also have this staircase right here that goes all the way up over here to where the tower is. And we're gonna stop though in this video right about here. But let's go see how the third floor turned out. Here's the third floor, and it didn't even take that long, even though it's been like 3 days since that last clip, and that's only because my life got busy all of a sudden out of nowhere. Even though I have like all the time in the world usually to no life Minecraft, but my life decided, you know what? We're gonna have a party here. You got a doctor's appointment, and you gotta get your braces off, all in like the span of like 3 days. So I didn't really have time to no life Minecraft. But like last night, I got the ability to just stay up and build for like hours on end and stayed up way too long. And we don't talk about that, and I won't worry about it until I'm 30 and suffering the consequences. But I think it turned out really well. I really like how the copper golems look in this build and how this little house looks in here. Even though don't really like the house that much, I'm not that great at building at small scales. So that's not really my specialty, and will probably never be because I just can't help myself from building in a massive scale. And I also made this little area that took a long time because this was the part that I had to clear out the massive chunk of the mountain for. And yeah, I almost broke 3 pickaxes. That was not enjoyable. I'll have to spend like 20 minutes at the Enderman farm getting XP repairing my tools, which is gonna be great. And I also cleared out everything down to here. So we have the ability to make everything else to finish the build. The last things that need to be done is finishing up this side of the building right here and this parking lot. And besides that, there isn't really anything too interesting. There's some air conditioning units, this bridge, and a workers area. It's a workers area, so it's nothing really too interesting or visually appealing. It's not supposed to be. There's also this hill over here that I'm gonna pretend doesn't exist because I feel like if I do any more terraforming, I'm gonna want to quit Minecraft for the next month and a half. So I'm gonna pretend it doesn't exist and finish up the rest of the build, and let's go see how it looks. Here's the final product, and it only took like 7 hours to complete, and I am very tired. But it's now finished, and it looks pretty good, I think, so it's all worth it, right? And of course, there's some areas that aren't fully done because I do have a limit to how much I can build at a time because I will burn out if I do those two now. And I do not want that because that means I'm not going to be playing Minecraft for like the next month and a half, and that does not seem preferable. So we're going to pretend that that doesn't exist, and especially that because that scares me. That is very intimidating. I do not want to work on that for now. And transferring an entire hill, well, mountain into a hill does not seem enjoyable. So have fun, future me. You're gonna do great. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be all worth it, and it's gonna look great. And I believe in you. Don't cry. You got this. And I also spent a long time working on this area right here, mainly because I had to build this semicircle right here. And it turns out I'm terrible at making circles in Minecraft, especially 2D circles, and this took an embarrassing long time. I ended up looking up a circle generator and using that, and it's still too small, and I will rebuild it eventually, maybe, potentially. It looks good enough right now, so we're gonna leave it as is. And I also made this area right here with the bamboo and the azalea bushes, and I like how it turned out. And I like how all of this build turned out and how it looks. And it's scary thinking, though, that this is only like 5% of the entire project that I've just started, and that is very intimidating, but also exciting, because that is a nice project that I'm going to be working on for a long time. And I won't be bored of not having an idea to work on building. But if you enjoyed this video and want to see more of this project, then good news. I do plan on working more on videos and making more videos on this project. So subscribe if you want to see more of those. But in the meantime, I only have two videos I can watch, so it's slim pickings, and they're right here. They're okay. You can enjoy them right now, so go click on them. Well, bye.